Hello and welcome to a very belated episode 19 of my retrospective look at TT Games LEGO games of the past. Now hopefully you've had a chance to watch the rest of the series and are enjoying them. I've had some genuinely positive comments about the series recently, and it's part of my motivation for actually bringing it back with some new episodes. If you are one of the many people that have been watching the series over on the IGTV channel on Instagram, then please don't forget to pop over to YouTube and subscribe if you like what you see. Anyway, on to business. It's good to be back. I love making this series and I'm very happy to be back doing it again. So, Microsoft Game Pass on the Xbox has been an absolute dream for me, an Netflix-style subscription service that lets you play, complete and collect achievements for over 100 games. And since the beginning, Xbox has been pretty kind to us LEGO game fans with at least 2 or 3 on there at any given time. In December, however, Xbox announced that one of the games that would be leaving the service as part of this monthly rotation was LEGO City Undercover, a game I've never actually had the time to play, and it's one I haven't even reviewed for the series. And so, in early January, began a race against time to complete, 100% complete that is, one of LEGO's most expansive editions. Now when you look through the entirety of TT Games LEGO history, almost every game in the series is based on a third-party license. Star Wars, Marvel, DC Comics, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's just to name a few. There are actually very few games based on LEGO's own creations, and most of them are based on a movie, like the LEGO Movie, or the LEGO Movie 2, or the LEGO Ninjago Movie. LEGO City Undercover, TT Games' once Wii U exclusive, stands alone as a truly unique creation, with inspirations from the LEGO City sets as well as pretty much every cop TV show and movie from the 70s and 80s. Now the story follows Chase McCain, a former cop of LEGO City who's left after a little bit of trouble with a big case. Returning at the request of the mayor, Chase learns that his once big-time arrest, Rex Fury, has escaped from prison and Chase's former love interest is in danger. Reinstated to the force, it's up to Chase to track down the crime lords of the city and surrounding areas on his quest to bring Rex to justice once more. I mean, it's a pretty decent story for a game based on LEGO sets, and it opens up the door for plenty of references to movies, cop shows. Pretty much anything involving law enforcement gets a dig at some point during the story. Now the story plays out pretty nicely with both structured levels and open world missions, and it's broken up into 15 chapters. The open world segments during the story playthrough are far more integrated than, say, a LEGO Marvel game. They're much more like what you get with the LEGO Ninjago movie game, and the jump from open world to structured level is pretty seamless, save for a cutscene along the way. It's a far cry from where TT Games started with their tiny little cantina hub and doors to the levels in Star Wars. For the most part as well, these open world segments actually do a lot to progress the story, whether that's learning a new piece of tech like listening to bad guys from afar, or unlocking a new ability. It's obviously a required part of the story as you progress anyway, but rather than wasting time in the actual levels, this game puts you to work learning them before you even get there. The abilities themselves, or rather the use of them, are what really set this game apart from the rest of the series. The closest comparison comes from the earliest LEGO Batman game, where you didn't actually unlock characters but rather suits for Batman and Robin, each with their own specific set of skills. Now LEGO City Undercover takes that concept one step further as you play through the entirety of the game, both open world and story, as Chase McCain. But you actually unlock hundreds of disguises to use. Now these disguises are grouped into a number of categories like police, criminals, miners, spacemen, yes, spacemen, farmers, firemen, construction workers and civilians, and each one of these categories has a very specific set of skills required for the game. Like a fireman, for example, can put out fires, a miner can use dynamite, etc, etc. Now, the skills don't change from fireman to fireman or police officer to police officer, but you can change the disguises as you work your way through the game and unlock them. The one and only exception to this is Rex Fury, the big bad. Once you unlock his disguise, you can actually use specific points in the game, both in levels and in the open world. It's a nice change of pace from the normal in terms of character selection, but for the most part, if you're anything like me, you're going to find your favourite and you're going to use pretty much those characters for the entirety of your 100% completion, because the skills don't change. Moving further into the game mechanics, and probably the strangest influence this game has, is Grand Theft Auto. Now stay with me here. In terms of how the game plays, if you took GTA, flipped the characters from criminals to cops, made the game family friendly and LEGO based, you wouldn't be that far off what you get from LEGO City Undercover. Think about it. You've essentially got a fully open world environment, half city, half open wilderness, and a few islands to explore, and you can pretty much do what you want. You need a car, you take it. There's races, stunt jumps, police chases, there's bikes, cars, boats, helicopters. You can even take control of the train network if you really want to. There's a lot of similarities between this and GTA. It's just a much more family friendly version. This is definitely the closest LEGO we're ever going to come to GTA, that's for sure. And this open world is huge. It's massive and fully explorable and full to the brim with side quests and collectibles. The 100% is a genuine effort, I must say. Made even harder by the one very crucial thing missing: the map. Well, there is a map, but it doesn't show you any of the collectibles or side missions on it like every other LEGO game. Instead, you get a handheld device with a scanner that you can activate to search for collectibles, but its range is rubbish. So basically there is a lot to explore, and you will cover every inch of the map if you have any intention of 100%ing this game. Trust me, I did it. It was hard. Speaking of collectibles, in addition to the standard studs, character and vehicle tokens, a million or two fetch missions and gold bricks, there are super builds that require special bricks to use. Don't worry, you're introduced to this concept pretty early on, but if any of you have played LEGO The Incredibles, then you'll get the gist, because there's a similar mechanic in that game. The only genuine annoyance, other than the lack of map there, is helicopters, because they can only land on specific pads, so don't expect to use a flying vehicle to solve all your problems. Basically, climbing and parkour will be required. The best tip I can give you for this game, if you are looking to 100% it, is complete the story first. There is so much out there in the open world, and you're going to need every single skill unlocked if you want to progress and get that 100%. Graphically, there's very little to complain about. It's a LEGO game, so there isn't that much to worry about, to be honest. That said, you can tell this game was originally made for the Wii U when it comes to the cutscenes. The graphical sheen of games from around the same sort of time just isn't there in terms of definition. That's definitely me nitpicking though. Draw distance is another slight issue. It can be, especially if you're in a helicopter. Some of the buildings, they just don't appear until you get quite close to them. It's, how it renders, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. And overall, I sunk 50 plus hours into this game, and it didn't bother me that much. And again, there were no frame rate drops. Now, unlike a certain Ninjago game, damn, that's painful at times. No, the frame rate was fine throughout. Moving on to audio, and the voice acting is superb. It's exceptionally good quality for an original creation, with everyone nailing their characters brilliantly, including a few half-decent impressions of famous actors when a TV or movie reference is required. Similarly, the music in the game, clearly inspired by Starsky and Hutch and other similar kind of cop shows of the past, it hits the perfect note throughout, setting the tone for something based on a serious law enforcement drama, but with LEGO comedy genes infused. Overall, LEGO City Undercover may well be the best LEGO game out there as of this video. Of course, at the time of this video, the Skywalker Saga isn't out yet, so can't really judge, but based on what's come before, it's definitely up there with the best. I really genuinely enjoyed this. I mean, in the past, I've always seemed to be more interested in LEGO games that are based on franchises I love, like Marvel, DC. I mean, I'm a massive fan of comic books, and I love those games, and I'm drawn to that for that reason. That's why I've never played this one before. It's why it was just sitting there on my to-do list. I desperately regret that now. So much of this game is unique to the franchise, inspired and evolving ideas from throughout the series' history. This game is just so much fun, it never gets dull, and so, there's so much variety in that open world. With a re-engineering a character selection system, an open world that's fully integrated into the story, an open world that just feels alive, there's just so much. There's so much that sets this game above its peers. Even the lack of map help for collectibles is forgiven. With so few flaws and so much new to enjoy, if you've never played this game, then I highly, highly recommend it. Anyway, I'll leave it there because I could be talking about this game for hours, but I don't want to give everything away. Go and play it, it's awesome. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do let me know what you think in the comments section. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget that all important thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. I'll be back very soon with another one in the series. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. LEGO Dimensions is definitely on my list, but that's going to be a big one. I know that for a fact. But there are still a few other games I can go into. Anyway, I'll be back with another video very soon in the series. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.